How y'all doing? If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. I'm nervous about this one. So, we got clues again. And I'm just going through my parts and just trying to do as many as I can of the same thing. It just seems to flow better. And it helps me knock down the ever-growing, or sometimes shrinking pile of board games I gotta process, because I sell lots of parts. Every single day I sell parts. So we got the clues. That's not what I'm nervous about. We got a Lord of the Rings Battle of Middle-earth chess set sealed. And we're going to go over why I'm concerned about it when we get to that. First, we got to go through these different iterations of clue and see what we got here. All right, so first up, we got the big clue. This is 2002. In 2002, they moved away from the pawns and they did these figures. The cards are different, like, every few years. The 4 games we sell as parts are Clue, Sorry, Game of Life, and Monopoly. So, just processing some Clue. I have to get them at under $3. I try to get them at 2, if at all possible. That's how I maintain ROI. So these we have these figures. This is unique to this one. They went back to the pawns after that. The dice are normal. Let's see if I can move this a little bit. And then we're looking for our 6 weapons in this version. They went traditionally 6, they went to 9, and then they went back to 6. Now, hats off for trying different stuff. And then we want the cards, if we can find them. And we never sell these as anything other than parts. It's just not worth having. It doesn't move, takes up space. I at one point dedicated a big part of my area to this, sprawling out onto the floor from the corner of the room I put stuff in. And I had like 120 board games for sale at a point. I did sell them. I did all right with it. I actually make the same money now, except rather than sprawling out onto the floor, just 2 totes. All right. So our cards here. So you just want to make sure you get all your cards and they're in decent shape. And what I sell out of this kit is the weapons, the pawns, and the cards separate, generally. Sometimes I mix it up if stuff's not moving, but we'll see what we got. And then we can bust out the other one quick. So it should be the 6 weapons, 9 rooms, and 6 murderers, or not, but all right. Now let's look at the other 3, which are all actually the same iteration with one little change up. These are Clue 2013 and 2018. 13, I believe, just changed some of the rooms and updated it a little bit, but 18 changed out Miss Peacock for Dr. Orchid. I have not really sold a lot out of these. I do always sell the weapons. Literally just sold one like a minute ago. There, that's the perfect example. Paid ship now. That's the kind of things we sell. And I have a year span here. And that's how long they've run this set. And because of Dr. fucking Orchid, I had to change this and have a different listing. But whatever. Fucking bitch gets a doctorate and starts murdering people. Following up my life. Don't appreciate it. All right. That's odd. These are sealed. Okay, well, I can't really do a lot with it, honestly. What I do, I don't list it as sealed. I just run it as the other listing. And then I send it to people, and generally I get a good feedback saying that it was, like, you know, better than expected. Which is fine. So, we got a weapon set. And this pawn set is going to be exactly what I just showed you. Because Dr. Orchid changed the color scheme and added a different card. Got to have a different listing for it. Thus far, I've sold no Dr. Orchids. There she is. She's fuchsia. All right, let's get this sorted. All right, so we have our 3 types of cards coming from 4 boxes, so 2 are the same. They do change them quite a bit aesthetically, but not functionally. They did, yeah. There's the traditional one that went until 2008 or 2008. They tried something, they shit canned it, and then they added these like intrigue cards at some point. But most of the art is just what changes. And then they changed Dr. Orchid. I already complained about that, but so we got the different cards. We have the different pawns, 3 different kinds of pawns out of 4. The weapons are actually all the same, so we just have our listings. Everything was here except one box. I was missing a wrench that we pull from our spare parts. And grand total, Clue sells for good money. So I got 26 bucks out of this, which is great because my next thing I am not super optimistic about. So we've covered our ass in case it's not worth what I think it is. And we're going to go over why I bought it and why I'm not sure about it, and then we'll actually figure it out. That next thing being the Lord of the Rings chess set. Alright, so we got Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle-earth chess set sealed. And it's one of those things, I grabbed it. If something is sealed, it doesn't mean it's necessarily valuable. But I picked up my phone, I looked, and the comps were not bad. They weren't great, but they weren't bad. Try to get that price tag off. Then I'm standing in line, and doubt is starting to creep in. I'm kind of feeling like maybe this is not a good pickup, and still going to go over why. So Lord of the Rings, first of all, you're just not allowed to just make something called Lord of the Rings, especially with the logo. That's how you get all of your assets seized. You just can't do that. But that doesn't mean they don't give their rights out to just anybody. That doesn't mean this is a quality thing. And I was kind of concerned with the quality as I'm standing there. Obviously it's sealed, but it says the Noble Collection. But there's no real maker on here, and that's what was bothering me. Then I turned it, and you can see the shrink wrap really sucks. It's not done well. And that's not necessarily a huge deal, but generally when you're making a lot of something, and it's, high end, you don't just have, like, weird fucked up shrink wrap. Makes me think this is a smaller run. And then the thing that almost made me put it back, but at that point I'm already been in line a while and I'm next up. This sticker here is like a drop ship sticker. Now it isn't a really bad one. Like if it's a longer one and it says like Chengdu, China, it's junk. It's from Temu. But it still makes me think that this is mass produced, not in America. So we're just going to look at it and kind of get an idea of if I was right or if I was wrong, and then we're going to figure it out right quick. So I don't like that it's not branded. I don't like that it's cheaply wrapped, and I don't like this sticker. So you see the Noble Collection is, so it has the New Line Cinema Warner Brothers, so you can't just throw that on things. So it's licensed. The Noble Collection is the name of the company, which is kind of sketchy, quite frankly. It's like your pizza place being called The Best Pizza. It's just kind of a weird way of doing business. And it's a UK-based company, and then distributed out of Belgium. So that might explain this, but it's also made in China. I don't fucking know. But, as an intellectual property, Lord of the Rings is hot. So, I'm going to look this up. So, I did put in Lord of the Rings chess set just as a feeler, and I did see this, and I did see it in sold comps. But now we're going to dig in a little further, because obviously people are producing these, and that's the other part of this is when I saw the comps, like, how many Lord of the Rings chess sets do you give the rights away to? Now, this is a Parker Brothers one. Okay, I'll let Parker Brothers make stuff for me. But, like, these are all different. Now, this one is the one I have. It's boxed up. It's pre-owned. Noble Collection. So we're going to do Lord Rings Noble Chess. We'll get this knocked down. 72 results. And these are resin. These look nicer. They have like cool bottoms. But yeah, and the pricing, the other thing is the pricing really jumps around a lot. Yeah, see, this is a very expensive set. A pewter chess set with these pieces. That's why they look nicer. And like a marble, this is fucking big money. $450, 35 watchers. $600, 77 watchers. That's cool. Be nice to find that. Instead, I found this. So, that said, we got 72 results, 19 sold, and that's why I grabbed it, because these are selling, and they're selling for decent money. This is obviously the one I have. And again, down here, like, okay, so I can get at least 40 out of it, or more. But we're looking at, this one's 34, 36, 40, 40, 50. Yeah, it's going to move. And at $10, it wasn't a huge gamble. And obviously, going back to the parts thing, you can make some really good deals, and then that kind of opens you up to roll the dice on some stuff if you want. Sometimes I used to do a lot of toy bags on this channel, and my stores stopped having them because they get ripped open. I think they just got sick of dealing with it. So my rule is, if I could see value in the bag just as break even, I would take it. And it's kind of the same thing if you're just sourcing a lot of stuff at once. Like, I have value in my hand. I can not take the time to research this fully and just grab this because I have a good feeling about it. So, again, we are brand new. And a lot of these are not. The majority of these are not, in fact. So it looks like the brand new is going for 50, which I'm not going to do. So I'm going to go 40, so 30 plus shipping. Worst case scenario, I could drop it down a bit. I hate having these things around. They take up space. But that is a good pickup. So I feel all right now that we've actually looked at this. And being brand new and sealed, I think that will do all right. So there we go. So if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.